Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, Sir David the Bard. I'm coming to you here from Kangaroo City down here in Australia, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, I think, an important subject. Many of you are just going to turn me right off. In fact, I think I've turned off a lot of people, especially girls, now that I think back on my BYU days. Anyway, it's an important subject and one that I don't see discussed a lot. I guess you can go up on Google and get information, but I'm going to give you straight information. I'm not going to give you the Pele Ale Mormon Shuffle. You know, I'm going to tell you the truth. Okay, here it is. Of course, I told you I'm pushing about 70 years old here, and I still have two kids in the house. And Abby's almost 17 now, and Allison is going on 13, and Mercy, and me. And then we're inviting her parents here, and they could be here anytime. So anyway, the subject that I wanted to bring up has to do with the potty. Now, I don't know where the word potty came from. It's an old word, so maybe it came from when I was born. I don't know. But the bathroom, and in the Philippines they call it the CR, this comfort room, the CR. Now, there's no such thing as a comfort room in the Philippines. It's a hole in the ground, and every time you sit there, you wonder if there's going to be a snake or an iguana coming up to visit. You go as quick as you can. Now, the other thing about the Philippines, they have no toilet paper. Now, they don't have any trees. The cyclones and the tropical storms blow all the trees into the ocean, so they have nothing to wipe their ass with except their hand. Now, that seemed to me, and it still does, gross. I'm not much for hand wiping poo-poo with my hand, but then they have like a bucket of water there that they wash their hands with, but I certainly wouldn't want to suck their thumbs, if you know what I mean. Anyway, my little wife is from the Philippines, and oh my God, she has become so Americanized, so Americanized. And you see all of these womanly attributes come out of her that she couldn't use in the Philippines. I mean, Mercy will have the most creative toilet paper holder in the world. You know, a little monkey, crank like toilet paper comes. She never had toilet paper, so she loves to go to the big stores, and when she sees something for 39 cents, like a new car or some token, some little thing that she just never had. Never had. She buys it, and I let her do that. For 39 cents or whatever. She's really in charge of the money here. And that's why I can afford to sit in this chair and do absolutely nothing. If she gives me any authority over money, we're under a tree. We're under a tree where I'm yelling to the kids, pack your pillowcases, we're on the move again. The creditors have found us. So anyway, she buys these cute little things that she's never had. And it gives me a thrill. It really enriches my heart and brings me joy to see a person who never had anything being able to buy now anything. I remember the first Christmas that we had here, and the kids got all the presents and little bicycles and the typical things that kids get in America. And then an hour or so after we opened presents and everything, I found her crying. And I said, well, has somebody said or done something to make you cry? She says, no. She says, I just saw all the things that these kids got for Christmas. I never got anything, ever. One of the reasons that I'm motivated to do this program, and I don't think it's going to go away, I wish the world was fair, just like you do. You know as well as I do, it's not. You want to blame that on Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Pinbu, the goat, whatever you want to blame it on. I don't care, because it hurts me. It hurts me that here you have a 40-year-old woman not being jealous, not wanting the presents that the children had, but the experience of wrapping the presents and actually having a bow on the presents and scotch tape and being able to open it up. And Mercy never had a Christmas tree. And we talk about the kids. They got their bikes, normal U.S. kids. We bought them bikes, and they rode them all over the place. Now the girls are driving cars and boys, and bikes are not important. And Mercy quietly took me aside one day and she said, could you teach me to ride a bike? I said, what, you're 41, 42 years old, and you don't know how to ride a bike? She says, no. I never had one. When we first got married, the first week she went shopping, and we had a refrigerator. All of her life, they didn't have a refrigerator. Most of her life, they did not have running water or a bathroom. And she went to the big store to buy food for the family, me and her and the kids. And she came home with a little package of food like this, and we had a reasonable sized refrigerator, and she put it in the center of the refrigerator. And I went over to her and I said, what the hell, is that food for a week or what? She goes, no, for a day. See? They had no refrigerator. They could only buy food for a day because it was spoiled. Without refrigeration, it was spoiled. And I had to gently scream, where the fuck's the midget? No, I didn't do that. Don't fuck with the duck. No, I didn't do that. I said, honey, in the United States, our refrigeration works all the time. She says, well, in the Philippines, the electricity turns off all the time. I said, I know. And I said, here you're okay. You can buy more and you can fill it up. Well, it took her 6 months or a year to figure out that she could fill the refrigerator. It took her another 6 months to figure out that frozen food would last for months. They didn't have frozen food there, so she would always come to me with a frozen piece of meat or something and say, well, can we still eat this? And I go, yeah, it's been frozen 700 years. That doesn't take anything off a piece of meat. So anyway, she now is more than perfect. She knows that thing like inside and out. And she now manages the food very, very well. Well, then I bought her a little freezer. And I said, now what you do is when things are on sale, you buy several of them and throw them in the freezer. Well, she's still having trouble with that. She doesn't understand that freezer will keep things for months and months and months. So she's working on that. And then when I showed her the vacuum cleaner, she didn't have, I don't think she'd ever seen one. And plugged it in, and it made all this noise and everything. And she said, I would rather use a broom. That's too noisy. I'd rather use a broom. I mean, over the years, you're going to put the broom away and you're going to use the vacuum. And she does now, of course. And she's really good at carpet cleaning. We have a nice Hoover, Boover, Mover. You put hot water in and god dang, the carpets look like they're sterilized. She uses that all the time. Well, then she wouldn't use the dishwasher. And she'd wash dishes by hand because that's what they did in the Philippines. They don't have a dishwasher. And so I told her that the water in the dishwasher is hotter than she can put her hands in. It sterilizes the dishes, and finally she uses the dishwasher now. Well, then comes the washing machine and the dryer. Now, she'd heard of and seen washing machines, but she'd never had one, of course. So she had to learn the soap and the bleach. My clothes and underwear would come out pink, and I go, it's okay, honey. No one's going to see it. Like, I wish they would, but no one's going to see my pink underwear. So she's learned how to do really well on the washer, but the dryer, she hates the dryer. I don't know. They bring a lot of suspicions with them. The ceiling fans, she thinks causes people to have gas. Well, I've heard people fart in a lot of places that don't have ceiling fans, but that's just crude science. They know. So she didn't like the dryer. Well, she still doesn't, because sometimes she'll use it when she has to and needs to. And then there's other times when there's shirts and nice things, she washes them, then hangs them up in the house overnight, and they dry, and then she takes them down. So you learn with these different cultures and different people the important things of life. They don't take medications. They don't have medications in the Philippines. Well, they have. If you're very, very rich, they have medications, and you don't need a doctor. You just go to the pharmacy and say, give me a half a bag of cocaine and 3 bags of marijuana. I mean, okay, here, $400, and the doctors don't regulate that. And I did see an X-ray machine once at a hospital. It had to be 1938. I don't know if it worked, and I asked him, does it work? And we don't know, we don't use it. Okay, it just looks good in the hospital. So anyway, the point that I'm getting, and the same way with the car, I taught her to drive, and I swore I would never teach another Asian to drive in the United States. The first 4 minutes of her driving, we drove out of the big store parking lot, and she looked up in the mirror and she says, Bard, why are all those lights behind me? Holy shit, it's the police. Pull over. Well, which way? Left, right? To the right. Pull over, pull over. And so he comes up to the car and he sees her. She's tiny. She's only like 106 pounds or something, and 5 foot. And so policeman looks in, and he said, do you have a license? And she said, yes, one from the Philippines. And he says, like I couldn't tell. And he looks at me, and I'm just looking at the dashboard. I ain't going to look left or right, because I know what's coming down. And he says, sir. I started looking over my shoulder like someone in the back seat. He goes, sir, you fat Bard. I go, yes, sir. Are you teaching her to drive? Yes, sir. Have you taught her we don't drive in the center of the road, we drive to the right? Said, oh, I was going to mention that in just a few minutes. He says, mention it now. Thank you, have a nice day. So, there's my experience. And then, of course, she had her wreck. Oh my God, she made a left-hand turn at 70 miles an hour and hit an 18-wheeler truck. Every airbag in the neighborhood went out. Just not our car, the whole neighborhood airbags were coming out. And we walked away from that. It was a Hyundai Sonata. And God, it had 10 airbags and every one of them came out. And if you haven't had an airbag hit you in the face at 300 miles an hour, you haven't had a good orgasm. You just haven't. So anyway, the door's locked. I'm doing a video. Stay on ground. You can go outside. Don't play with the kangaroos. So anyway, she had that accident, and the police and the fire and the helicopter, the National Guard, the CIA, they all show up and they look at me and they say, what the hell's going on? And I said, well, I'm teaching her to drive. And the policeman said to me, well, you're not a very good teacher, are you? And I said, well, the facts speak for themselves, don't they? He goes, they do. We both walked away from that one. I was amazed, hitting a truck, a dead stop. So anyway, she's learned that, and she hasn't had a ticket. She hasn't had anything. She's been a perfect driver since then. Like most human beings, once we almost kill ourselves, we grow up and start to learn. So anyway, there's been these events in our house. Now her father's coming from the Philippines, and I try very, very hard because I feel for these people that come from a third world country. This is like going from hell to heaven. I wish there was a place for, like the United States, that we could go to another United States, so much bigger, so much better. You Christians call that heaven. I just call it a better place. Anyway, he secretly said to Mercy, says, well, when we shower in the United States, do they have buckets of water like we have here, and we just pour them over our head? And she says, well, no, the water comes out of the wall. He was amazed. How does the water come out of the wall? There it is. It's Monson. Every time I get on, Monson calls me. He tries to stop my program. He's laying there in the church office building. He goes, there's the Bart. He's on again. Get him. Get him. So anyway, you hear my ringtone, Sherry. It's only 70 years old. So anyway, I forgot where I was now. You'll remind me. You always do. You remind me of what I really wanted to say, most of you. So anyway, on the automobile, the water coming out of the wall. And she says, yes, we have hot and cold water. He was amazed. How do you get hot water out of a wall? She says, well, we have a machine that makes it, and then a machine that makes hot water? And I'm just, nearly in tears, because I can be somewhat instrumental in getting them here. They deserve equality. They deserve. I wouldn't have my wife. I wouldn't have my 2 children if it wasn't for them. And he wears a little American hat that he just loves. This man has wanted to be in America once in his life, and now he's coming to live. I built him a really nice bedroom upstairs, and I bought him a brand new bed. Him and his wife, they've never slept in a bed. Never slept in. Always sleep on the ground. And I bought him a really nice double bed up there, and a little refrigerator, which they've never been able to afford. Whatever. I just feel very thankful and happy and joyful that I can share. That I can share. And share with people that really, really appreciate. When I was in the Philippines, he's always asking me about America and what we think and what we do. And his heart just bleeds to once come to America, and I've been able to help get him here to live and die in America. Well, anyway, the long story long, we had a very exciting event yesterday. Now, you got to realize a man has a very different thinking pattern than a woman. When we're driving, we can pee in a McDonald's cup and throw it out the damn window. Just make sure that the back window is not open. Listen to the Bard. This is experience, okay? And don't throw it across your partner's window if there's a wind. And I'm speaking here from experience. Learn from the old man. So anyway, Mercy comes in to me and she said, we need a new toilet seat. Now remember, they don't have toilets in the Philippines. Only toilets I ever saw in the Philippines were at the mall. And you go in the mall, and all the toilet seats are gone. They steal them. I guess they put them over a hole in the ground, and now they have a toilet. But anyway, she comes in to me and says, we need a new toilet seat. And I'm the man. I go, well, why? It hasn't stopped me from going to the bathroom. She says, I know. And, well, it's not broken. I know. And, well, when do you trade a toilet seat in? Because, see, I'm a man. I've never changed a toilet seat. Never. I usually change houses. But anyway, she says, we need a new toilet seat. And I said, all right. So she goes to the big store and buys a toilet seat. Well, it sat in the bathroom like 3 days, and I kept saying to her, when are you going to put that on? When are you going to put that on? Because Bart don't do toilet seats. Bart builds buildings, but he don't do toilet seats. And I've already been Mr. Plunger Man for, 70 years. When you have kids and you plunge up diapers and plunge up little toy cars and doll heads, Bart don't do toilet much anymore. So I kept teasing her. And when she got here, she couldn't use a tool. She didn't know the name of any tool anywhere. Didn't know how to do anything. anything. And we've been married 8 years, well, going on 9, I guess. And so I saw her carrying tools into the toilet seat. Now, in the old days, I thought the toilet seat just had a wing nut on it, and you take one off, put the other one on, and then put the caps up over it. Well, then I see my toolbox going in, and I see Allison carrying in, extra tools, shovels, rakes. I go, God, I should do the toilet seat because I know this is going to cost me $1 million. So I'm sitting here and I'm trying not to listen because, see, they all speak their own language, and I allow that, and I encourage that. I want my kids to be. Abigail is trilingual. She speaks Spanish, Viserian. That's like a Caesarean. I can't think of it, but anyway, and Spanish and English. She's trilingual, and Mercy's trilingual, and Allison is just, you're not my real dad. She just went English, that's it. And so, she's going to call me because she got her cell phone. See? She got her call her own phone. She earned the money herself. She paid for her own phone line, and she's not responsible for anybody. I keep her phone sometimes. It visits me when Allison doesn't clean her room. Anyway, I'm off the subject. What is the subject? So anyway, I'm sitting here listening to the seat change in the toilet room. Now, I have to admit, okay, I have to admit, it did cross my mind to auction the old seat. Now, if you're Mormon and you could buy Joseph Smith's toilet seat, it might go for thousands of dollars. Now, I thought about putting my toilet seat on eBay and seeing what I could get for it. But I was afraid I was just going to get in a bunch of shit, so I'm not going to sell it. So pretty soon, I see all these tools, and hear all these tools, and pretty soon I see this plastic bag carrying the old toilet seat. I don't know where they die. I don't know where a toilet seat goes. I've never, in all my travels in the United States, especially down south, where they collect bear heads and Indian things and whatever, I've never seen a shop of toilet seats. I've never seen them. But anyway, there may be some. So the toilet seat disappears into toilet seat heaven. I don't know. They go to the celestial kingdom. Who knows? The Mormons don't. The Mormons don't know where they're going. How are they going to predict where my toilet seat goes? So anyway, now the only toilet seats that I've ever taken any kind of interest in, I was at the San Simeon in California. Went up to Hearst Castle a couple of times. Randolph Hearst. And he had like 27 guest rooms. Now, that's a lot of guests, but I guess he filled them. They all had gold toilet seats. Now try to lift that sucker up and take a pee-pee. Or put it down, make sure your pee-pee's out of the way, because that sucker's going to close. So anyway, I thought, well, I've never been interested in toilet seats before, but times can change. So anyway, we didn't get a gold toilet seat. We got one of the white ones. And so they put that on. And I'm proud. I'm proud of them. They could use tools. All the girls were in there talking their own language. I don't know what they were saying. Probably, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. I don't know what they were saying. But anyway, they got it on. Well, they all come out here and they said, Bard, we got it on. I said, good. I'm going to go in and be the first one to make sure it's not a virgin. And Allison is fighting me. I'm going to go first. And I'm first. And Mercy goes, I put it in, I go first. So anyway, it has been decorated now, and it's not a virgin, and it can be used. And as far as I'm concerned, it can be used for 1,000 years. But if you're a woman, for some reason, a toilet seat goes, change me, change me, change. I don't hear that voice. I hear the voice, I still work, leave me alone. So the two voices kind of debate each other, and her little voice wins because she has the money. So anyway, it looks nice. Yeah, I go in and go, yeah, I didn't realize the other one was so brown and ugly and pink and yellow. I didn't know a toilet seat could be multicolored. But anyway, now let me leave this video with my last big idea, okay? I may have mentioned this years ago, and I told you I try never to repeat anything on another video. Every video has no story that's been told before. I think to erase the national debt in the United States forever, we should have a 1 penny tax on every new roll of toilet paper sold in the United States. We all use it, we all need it, the tax is even, and the tax will always be there, new kids, old kids, seniors. That is the way to erase the national debt. The shit penny, I call it, and on that penny, you don't see Susan B. Anthony or George Washington. You see a little log of shit with feet on it, running to pay the national debt off. So anyway, there's the Bard's idea. Pay me, lay me, and nail me. Oh God, hear the words of my mouth 3 times. I hope he does listen, because you know I'm an atheist. And don't cut my throat. I hate those penalties. Don't take my heart out. Don't cut my gut out. And the name of the second token of the Melchizedek priesthood, the patriarchal grip, or a sure sign of the nail, is health in the navel, marrow in the bones, strength in the loins and sinews, power and priesthood be upon me and upon my posterity through all generations of time and throughout all eternity. And frankly, I think you could use a toilet seat for all generations of time and throughout eternity. But my sweet wife, she doesn't see it that way. This Bard is now gone.